Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Frizz, and this is the first discussion board response. The first question asks, in your own words and based on your own experiences, what does it mean to choose exceptional leadership? Explain and provide support for your answers. To me, choosing exceptional leadership is choosing to accept responsibility as the front person of a group or organization and being the source of wisdom, confidence, and guidance for its followers. As I'm answering these questions, I'm thinking specifically and remembering clearly the principals that I've worked for the last year. My principal and assistant principal were the most awesome administrators I could have ever hoped to have. They are exceptional leaders. And as Willett explained, it definitely makes sense to work smarter, not harder, and to find purpose in your work. Remember your why you started, why you want to be there. Find satisfaction and even excitement in the small victories that you achieve. Stop complaining about your situation and make the best of it instead. In fact, my mom has always told me and my sister that if we didn't like something, that we could change it, and that we should in order to make it better. It's definitely something I've tried to carry into my adult life through school and work. Willett also stresses understanding that there will be setbacks as you pursue exceptional leadership, remembering why you do what you do, finding the drive and motivation to not only rectify a situation as the leader, but then to keep moving forward also will help you become an exceptional leader. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself on each of the exceptional leadership mindset keys? For most of the exceptional mindset keys, I'm kind of in the 7, 8, 9, 10 range. Overall, I would say I'm kind of a 7. Next, share 3 workplace experiences where the mindset keys were in play. What did you learn from the experiences? Explain and provide support for your statements. These situations and scenarios were not where I was in a leadership position, but that I definitely had the mindset keys come into play. And I've always been kind of a self-motivated person where mindset is a lot for me, and I'm usually able to talk myself through situations pretty easily. But number 2 is the first one I picked. Start with the belief that everyone has good intentions. It seems that I have this mindset going to most situations, almost to a fault sometimes. It's easy to be let down when people's intentions turn out to be not as good as you'd hoped. In my second year teaching, I was at a different school than the previous year, and I had to share a classroom with another teacher who taught pull-out classes for special ed. She taught math and I taught English. I actually had a practicum experience shadowing her for a couple years before when I was still at ISU for my undergrad. And we'd had several pleasant conversations. I'd stayed after the class time where I was shadowing her, and we would just talk about life and school. When it came to sharing a classroom with her, though, things were different. I had friends from high school who were also teaching at the school, and one of whom had been there and shared a classroom with her before I got there. I think she was in that room for 2 previous years before I came. But then she had moved positions into a 6th grade where we were in 7th grade. Per my friend's experiences sharing a room with her and things that she'd overheard, this teacher had talked about me behind my back. And I can only assume it had to be about my general presence and what she presumed my capabilities in teaching to be, because it's not like I gave her much ammo. I mean, what could she have said? I was there for maybe a month shadowing her, and that's the kind of person she was. She didn't know much about me. She couldn't have. But since the time I'd shadowed her, she'd been apparently talking about me. Now I was sharing a classroom with her. And as the school year went on, the first thing I noticed was that items from my desk started to disappear. They ended up turning up at later times, usually when I'd stopped looking for them. And I had no solid proof that she took anything, but coming to know the person she turned out to be and being so different than the person I thought I'd met a couple years previously, I can pretty well guess what happened. There were other instances throughout the year also that affected me and my classes that certainly had me suspecting her. One situation actually escalated to the point where I was frustrated to tears, and our principal came into our team meeting. She listened to what we all thought was going on, but ultimately she kind of just told me to gather myself, think about what I would want to say to her, and then we would have a meeting with the three of us, the principal, the teacher, and I, once things had calmed down. That meeting never happened. My dad still teaches at that school. He told me in the last few weeks that this teacher was caught on camera stealing from another new teacher at the school this year who is on a cart and only has a small office, not a classroom, an office to park her stuff. She had bought all kinds of new school supplies, a new desk chair, all this stuff. This teacher was caught on camera wheeling this desk chair out of the office and down to her classroom, where then she sat in it as if it was hers. She also stole smaller desk items that she, stored in her desk as if they belonged to her. And since she was caught, she was obviously interrogated and eventually led off the premises by police. And she has not since been back. It just seems, in the mindset keys, how can someone seem so genuine when you first meet them and then only to have the complete opposite and underhanded intentions? The other two mindset keys that I chose were number 4 and 7. First one, set the high bar for excellence that people desire. And 7, to own your leadership power. For the past 11 years, I've been involved with the wrestling program at my high school as a manager under my dad as the head coach. This past season, my dad retired and we acquired almost a whole new coaching staff. The individuals who came in were seasoned wrestlers in high school and had served as assistant coaches at other schools, but this was the first year any of them had been a head coach. One head coach, 2 assistants. Our new coach met regularly with my dad to ask questions and seek guidance for his new position, which I thought was great. And he did all right for his first time on his own. He's still young and figuring things out about how to run a program and how things at our school specifically work. As I've been around for a long time and I'm accustomed to how my dad held everything together, I had the same high expectations for him going into his first season as head coach. And I knew things would be different than when Dad ran things, obviously. But when a program has been well run, you want to keep everything the same as much as possible. It'd be different if things weren't well run and you needed a whole new system of structure, but things had been relatively well run, so we need to keep most of it the same. We were also fortunate enough to have 4 extremely good and competent girls as our managers for this past year, and I held them to a high standard also, as I hope that with my previous experience and insight that I was able to shed some light on the process and routine of our wrestling season. And in this way, the other mindset key, I was able to own my leadership power in a setting where I feel very comfortable and experienced. I definitely enjoyed embracing the confidence that I felt in leading the girls and in helping the coaches get ready for and to navigate our season. That's really where I find my comfort zone to be. And of course, when you feel comfortable and confident, it's easy to really feel like you're powerful and to be in that leadership position, which is, of course, where I seek to be and probably most people seek to be. That's all I've got. Thanks.